Taehyung, armed with his powerful sword named Dark Fire, prepared to lead his forces into battle. The tensions between him and his brother Jimin, who had arrived with his ice warriors to join the fight, added to the intensity of the situation. Before departing for the wizard world, Taehyung shared a tender moment with YN, assuring her of his return. Despite her fears, she found comfort in his words and the knowledge of his love for her. As the dragons set out for battle, YN's heart felt heavy with worry and uncertainty. Atara offered a comforting gesture, sharing a poignant dragon tradition of kissing their life partner's forehead before battle, symbolizing a deep and special bond. As the dragons flew off into the night, ready to face the wizards and fight for their queen mother's freedom, Yor gazed into the starry sky, sending her silent prayers for their safety and victory. The fate of the dragon realm hung in the balance, and only time would tell the outcome of the epic war. Once Taehyung and his dragon warriors reached the wizard world, they were greeted with a loud and intimidating roar. The wizards had summoned their dark magic and were ready to unleash their powers upon the dragons. Taehyung, with dark fire in hand, led his warriors into battle with bravery and determination. The sky was filled with spells and fire as the two sides clashed in a fierce and chaotic battle. Taehyung's eyes blazed with fury as he fought with all his might to save his beloved mother queen. As the battle raged on, Taehyung and his warriors fought valiantly, using their dragon powers and magic to defend against the wizards' attacks. The ground shook with the force of their battle, causing rocks and debris to fly through the air. But the wizards are not less powerful than the dragons. Their dark magical spells make lots of dragon injured. As the sun starts rising, the battle becomes intense. The thunder rumbles loudly in the air, while red fire and blue ice swirl through the dark, cloudy sky. The wizards appear quite formidable now, much more than before. The Dragon King has noticed another force at play behind them. Theodora, the wicked witch, was watching everything through her magical mirror. An evil smirk is playing in her lips. Theodora, fight, mighty Dragon King. Fight with all your might, cause in the end of the war I am going to win. Yrn gazes at the sky, feeling the weight of the day as the dragons didn't come back yet. Everyone's prayers fill the air, but Yn's fear is stronger than ever, more than when that wicked witch cursed her long ago. She turns to Atara, her heart racing. Yrn, why haven't they returned yet? Atara, with worry sparkling in her eyes, looks up and replies, Atara, I don't know. As the sun began to set, Yrn grew impatient. She stood up, determined to head to the wizarding world on her own. If she can't join the war, she will try to talk with the wizards. There must be a conclusion. With her small shimmery wings, Yrn leave for the wizard land. She knows her wings can't take her very far. She knows it will take her days to reach there with this speed. But she can't sit like this. She needs to know how the Dragon's King is. As the sun started going down slowly, the warriors from both sides get exhausted. The Dragon King and the Master of the Wizards both come to an agreement to take a rest for the night. They take a break from the battle. The dragons make their tent outside the wizard land. Taehyung called Blaze in his tent. Taehyung, check how many warriors are injured and make sure they don't join the war yesterday. They need rest. Meanwhile, Yrn was flying above the deep ocean. It's been more than an hour. Her wings are now feeling numb. It started taking her down slowly. Suddenly a light gray dragon came next to her and spoke. Sit on my back, I will take you there. The voice is very thick, but Yrn recognize it. It's Atara. She smile and sit on her back. As they flew towards the wizard world, Yrn couldn't shake off the feeling of dread that settled in her heart. The night was dark as they made their way through the clouds, the stars twinkling above them like distant beacons of hope. She clutched onto Atara's arm, seeking comfort in her presence. The journey was long and treacherous, but finally, they reached the wizard's domain. Jimin, the wizards become more powerful. Blaze, they take some of our injured warriors with them during the battle. Jimin, we came to rescue Mother, but now it looks like we have to save them too. Storm, the leader of the Thunder Dragon, spoke. Storm, I think the wizards are not alone. Someone else is fighting the battle with us from behind the wizards. The Dragon King is listening to their conversation silently. He's in his deep thoughts. Storm is right. The wizards are not alone. Another power is playing the game. But who are they? He need to find it out. He look at the leaders. Taehyung, you all should go back to your tents and take rest. We have a big battle in the morning. Everyone nodded and left from there. Atara, I see the dragon's camp. Y or N? I hope they're fine. Atara and Y or N landed on the ground. Blaze spotted them at first. He walked near them. Blaze, Flower Fairy, what are you doing here? Y or N? I was worried for you all, so I come here to check. Blaze, you should go back. It's not safe here. Y or N? Don't worry about me. Is everything alright here? Blaze shake his head. Blaze, the wizards are very powerful. We lost our few warriors and some are injured badly. Y or N gasped loudly hearing him. Y or N? How's the Dragon King? Blaze, he's fine. He's taking rest in his tent. Y or N? Mr. Blaze, could you please call all the dragons here? Blaze, of course I can, but may I ask the reason? Y or N? I will try to cure them with my shimmers. Blaze nodded, liking her idea. Blaze gathered the injured dragons. Y or N flutter her wings above them, letting her shimmers fall on them. Soon they started getting healed. All the dragons roar in happiness. Jimin was watching her from far. He smiles. Jimin, I like her. Taehyung dressed up like wizards and seek out from the dragon camp. He needs to find out who is behind this. He entered inside the land of wizards. No one recognized him as they never saw the Dragon King's human form. The whole wizard land is wearing a festive look. Everyone is laughing and enjoying. Taehyung went near a group to listen their conversation. Did you see the Queen of the Dragons? Yes, but what will we do with that old queen? She is just a trap to bring the dragons here. Did you know our masters captive 5 dragons from the battle today? I heard it. And I believe we will win the battle and the dragons will be our slaves. They laughed. Taehyung backed away from the group and walked ahead. He noticed many wizards gathered in one spot. He proceeded there, and his breath caught. He saw his mother, imprisoned in a cage, with her hands and legs bound by chains. Her eyes are teary. Unknowingly, he took 2 steps back and accidentally bumped with someone. Hey, watch out. Taehyung looked back and saw a girl. He moved his gaze from the girl and looked at his mother again. I'm Talindra. And you? Taehyung again looked at the girl. She's staring at him with her green eyes. Taehyung decided to talk with her in order to get some information. Taehyung, I am Eldrin. Talindra. Nice to meet you, Eldrin. Taehyung nodded. Taehyung, everyone is enjoying the miserable condition of the queen dragon, right? Talindra. Yes, and why not? She's like a trophy for us given by the fairies. Taehyung frowned hearing her. Taehyung, the fairies? Talindra, of course. If it wasn't for fairies, we won't be able to get the queen. Taehyung, yeah, they helped us a lot. Talindra, especially the flower fairy, right? Eldrin. Taehyung felt a pang of pain. Talindra, she's a real hero. She even ventured into the Dragon Kingdom and got herself trapped by that silly Dragon King, not realizing it was all part of her clever plan. Taehyung, her plan. Talindra, she even take the Dragon Queen out from the ice castle so that we could get her easily. It's true. Y or N is the one who let his mother go out from the ice castle. Taehyung even scolded her for this, but what is this wizard saying? She did it purposely to help the wizards? No, this can't be true. She saved the whole Dragon Kingdom twice. She can't harm them. She can never. Taehyung backed away. He doesn't want to believe that wizard's words. He doesn't know about fairies, but he knows his princess. She can never do this. He started walking back to the camp. Suddenly the air get filled with the fragrance of flower. He immediately recognized her smell. He looked up and saw her. Taehyung, princess. He mumbled, but she's not alone. She's talking with the master of wizards who's sitting in his flying broom. Taehyung's eyes turned red in a blink. He felt hurt, anger, betrayal at the same time. Meanwhile, Yn look at the master of wizards with her teary eyes. Yn, please Master Wizard, stop the war and let the Queen Dragon go. Master Wizard, I can't, Flower Fairy. Dragons are our enemy and now we got the chance to defeat them. We will not back away. Yn, hurting others will never give you peace. Master Wizard, we are wizards, not fairies. We believe defeating our enemy will give us power and power will bring peace in our realm, saying that he left from there. Yn thought he will understand if she talk with him and request him to stop the war, but she was wrong. The wizards changed and become greedy for power. Talindra smirk after Taehyung left and come to her real form. She is Theodora. She disguises as a wizard and spun a web of delightful lies to ensnare Taehyung's trust. In reality, the fairies have nothing to do with this. It's Theodora who sprinkled greed into those wizards' hearts. It's Theodora who taught them her sneaky dark magic spells to make them powerful. And it's Theodora who informed the wizards about Mother Queen's whereabouts. And by doing this, she successfully made a big gap between the Dragon King and the Flower Fairy. That's why she's known as a wicked witch. Upset Flower Fairy fly back to the dragon's camp. As Yn landed back in the dragon camp, she felt a rush of emotions swirling inside her. Atara rushed towards her, concern etched on her face. Atara, what happened? Flower Fairy, why are you crying? Yn, I tried to stop the war, but they won't listen. The wizards won't listen. Atara wrapped her in a comforting hug, offering solace in her warm embrace. Atara, we will find a way, Yn. We will not give up. We will fight for peace and freedom, no matter what it takes. Yn nodded, taking a deep breath to steady her trembling heart. She wiped her tears away, determined to face the challenges ahead with courage and determination. Meanwhile, Taehyung returned to the camp, his mind a tumultuous storm of conflicting emotions. He couldn't believe the words he heard from the wizards. The betrayal, the deceit, it all felt like a knife twisting in his heart. As he saw Yn with Atara, his eyes softened for a moment before hardening with resolve. He approached them, his expression unreadable. Taehyung, Atara, what are you doing here? Yn, Dragon King, I. Taehyung held up his hand, cutting her off. Taehyung, I asked you something, Atara. His voice rises a bit, making Atara flinch. Yn looked up, her eyes filled with sorrow and confusion. Yn, why are you scolding her? I told her that I want to come here. Taehyung, don't you know it's dangerous here, Atara? Then why did you come here, an outsider?Yn's heart shattered hearing him call her an outsider. Taehyung, go back to the kingdom. I don't want to see you in the morning. Saying that, he left from there without even looking at Yn. Atara turned to her. Atara, let's go. Yn shake her head, wiping her tears. Yn, I won't go anywhere, but you should go back now. Otherwise Dragon King will get more angry on you. Atara was staring at Yn for some time, then she slowly nodded. She doesn't want to leave Yn here, but she's scared of the Dragon King. She wants to take Yn with her, but she knows how stubborn the Flower Fairy is. With a heavy heart, Atara left from there while praying for the small Flower Fairy and the Dragon Kingdom. The next morning, the dragons assembled for the final battle against the wizards. Taehyung, his heart heavy with doubt and betrayal, stood at the front of his warriors, his fiery sword gleaming in the morning sunlight. Yn stood by his side, offering silent support and unwavering loyalty. As the battle began, the wizards unleashed their dark magic upon the dragons. The sky crackled with power as fire and ice clashed in a deadly dance. Taehyung led the charge, his sword gleaming in the darkness. His eyes blazed with determination as he fought alongside his fellow dragons. Yn watched in awe as he wielded dark fire with skill and precision, cutting down any wizard that dared to stand in his way. Yn watched in horror as the battle waged on, her heart aching for the dragons and their king. She knew that the fate of the dragon realm hung in the balance, and she prayed silently for their victory. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck the ground near her, causing her to stumble back in shock. Despite the mighty powers of the wizards, the dragons fought bravely, using their strength and magic to defend themselves. But the odds were against them. Yen could feel the fear gripping her heart as she watched the dragons fall in battle. Suddenly, a group of wizards surrounded Taehyung, their wands raised in unison. Yen's heart leaped into her throat as she saw the danger he was in. Without thinking, she summoned all the magic she had within her and unleashed a blinding light that engulfed the wizards. The dragons took advantage of the distraction and fought back with renewed vigor. Taehyung broke free from the wizard's grasp and charged towards the enemy, his sword slicing through their ranks like a hot knife through butter. In the midst of the chaos, Taehyung and his warriors fought tirelessly, their determination unwavering. As the sun began to set, the wizards finally retreated, their dark magic no match for the power of the dragons. The Dragon King stood triumphant, his sword held high as he roared in victory. Yen was standing afar staring at them with her eyes filled with tears of joy. Taehyung turned his gaze at Yen and his smile dropped. He felt an unknown pain in his heart. They were staring at each other as if they're trying to make a conversation through their eyes. Jimin, let's go and get our mother. Taehyung nodded, still staring at Yen. The dragons left to help their queen mother, leaving the flower fairy behind. Yen stood there alone. She stumbled back. She's feeling weak, very weak. When the wizards surrounded Taehyung, she used all her powers to save him, and it took her strength. And there's another reason why she's feeling weak. Her 20th birthday is coming, means she doesn't have much time. The flower fairy looked at the orange sky and smiled sadly. Her time is coming. Her vision become blurry. She lose her balance and was about to fall when a strong arm hold her waist. She look up at him and smile softly. She wrapped her one hand around his neck and with other hand she caresses his face. Yen, have I ever tell you that you're so handsome? Taehyung, maybe for you cause for others I am scary. He said in a cold tone and carried her in his arms. Taehyung take her in his tent and make her laid down on the bed. Yen, I thought you left to save the mother queen. Taehyung, yeah, I was leaving, but then I remember I have a fairy to babysit. Saying that, he turned around and was about to leave, but Yen hold his wrist to stop him. Yen, will you marry me? Taehyung looked at her. His eyes were stuck in her face. After some time he spoke. Taehyung, why are you doing this? I never thought a small fairy will make me this much weak. Yen, but I want to be your strength. Taehyung chuckled hearing her. Taehyung, if you're playing tricks, that please don't. I'm hating it. Saying that, he turned around and left. Yen was laying there with confusion all over her face and mind.